Papua New Guinea, a country known for its vibrant culture and scenic beauty, has recently been rocked by one of the most deceptive financial scams in its history. It's a scam that has touched the lives of thousands of locals, many of whom have invested their life savings in a platform that promised easy returns. But what they didn't know was that it was all part of a carefully orchestrated fraud. This is the story of the SSE PNG scam. SSE PNG claims to be an investment platform offering high daily returns, mimicking the UK-based energy company SSE plc. The real SSE is a reputable company, but SSE PNG is nothing more than a fraudulent scheme designed to deceive the public. Officially launched in 2024, SSE PNG's popularity soared, particularly when promises of daily interest rates caught the attention of local investors. But what appeared to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity turned out to be a nightmare for many. The platform operates primarily through WhatsApp, where communication happens via messages. There are no physical offices or in-person meetings. Investors are directed to an online platform that is nearly identical to the official SSE UK website, except for one key difference. The website's URL is altered, adding PNG or Asia to make it seem legitimate. The scammers used this deception to lure people in. Their so-called investment funds ranged from small amounts of 100 kina to as high as 100,000 kina, with daily returns that seemed too good to be true. For example, 100 kina would earn 3 kina per day, while 900 kina would return 31 kina per day. These returns were appealing, especially to those seeking a quick way out of poverty or financial struggles. Soon, word of mouth spread, and SSE PNG began attracting more investors. But there was one thing that made this scam so insidious. It wasn't just the enticing returns that pulled people in. It was the fact that the scammers let investors withdraw small amounts early on, giving them a false sense of security. But these withdrawals were only allowed up to a point. When December 9, 2024 arrived, SSE PNG suddenly shut down. No more withdrawals, no more communication. Investors were left with nothing. Just before the shutdown, the scammers had one final trick up their sleeves. They asked investors to pay a service fee, promising that it would speed up withdrawals and prevent tax deductions, a tactic to get more money from those who were already invested. But once the money was paid, the platform vanished. Even the leading banks in Papua New Guinea, such as Kina Bank and BSP, tried to stop the fraudulent transactions. But the scammers were clever. They used local business accounts to collect the funds, making it difficult for the banks to trace the money. This created a loophole that allowed the scam to continue for far longer than it should have. As the scam continued to grow, local administrators were recruited. These were mostly the first few people who were tricked into investing, but they were given administrative privileges to help other locals sign up. What they didn't know was that they were mere pawns in a larger operation, with no real knowledge of the true administrators behind the platform. There are multiple administrators across different provinces, and users communicated directly with these administrators, receiving instructions for deposits and withdrawals. However, no one knew the true identity of the individual behind the name. Investors were instructed to make their deposits into random local business accounts. Once the money was transferred, they were told to upload proof of the transaction, and the app would show their balance. From there, they could supposedly rent equipment like wind turbines or solar panels. But this was all part of the deception. The funds were being siphoned off by the scammers, with no actual investment or equipment involved. Despite multiple red flags, including warnings from the real SSE in the UK about the scam, locals continued to invest. The promise of high returns, ranging from 13% to 50% daily, was just too tempting. And with more funds becoming available as the platform neared its closure, many people doubled down, investing larger sums of money, convinced they were just days away from huge returns. When the platform finally shut down, an estimated 140,000 Papua New Guineans were left with nothing. The majority of those affected were unemployed locals looking for a way to improve their lives. They are now facing the harsh reality of losing their hard-earned money. The authorities are now investigating the scam, but the question remains, will they ever track down the scammers? As of now, the investigation is ongoing, but for many victims, the damage has already been done. This scam serves as a painful reminder that if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. The people of Papua New Guinea are now left to pick up the pieces, while the scammers continue to evade justice. The question is, how many more will fall victim to scams like this before we learn from the past?